Ça passe à la fraîche. À la fraîche.
I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little spliff with you. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little spliff with you.
As you see, the lockdown was not too hard for us. Yes, we were surfing, cooking, sketching, walking in the forest to find some mushrooms, the favorite Martin's hobby. We were profiting of the nature without a lot of human activity. But in all of this, there is something wrong. Plastic. Look at these wonderful colors, this power, these lines. We want to keep the nature alive, keep the world alive, keep living. We have to do something against the plastic. Let's talk a little about plastic. What we can see on the beach is just a little part of the plastic waste. 80% of the marine waste came from onshore activities, and the plastics represent 75% of the total marine waste. Those wastes have a big impact on the biodiversity. And nowadays, the plastic production is huge. In 1950, 1.5 million tons per year was produced. In 2013, it was around 300 million tons per year. The quantity of plastic floating on the ocean surface is 236,000 tons. On the 275 million tons of plastic waste, 32 million are mismanaged. They are not buried or burned or recycled. And from those 32 millions, 8 millions end up in the ocean. But weirdly, we find just a teeny part of the waste in the ocean. So, where the plastic goes? The plastic accumulates in the depth of the ocean. Without light or oxygen, the plastic degradation is even slower in depth than in surface. And the waste tends to go down and to accumulate in the zones without current. We can see here all the plastic is slowly transported by the currents. During this, the plastic by fragmenting becomes little pieces, and by fragmenting again, that's how microplastics are formed. So, that's how the plastic penetrates in the environment, and thus in the food chain. So, when we eat fish, we are eating the plastic that we threw earlier. But based on some research, the inhaled plastic quantity is insignificant for our body. So now let's take a look to some solutions, some design solutions against the plastic. Let's take a look to a design project that's really interesting me, because it's in relation with food. That's a project from two Strat students graduated in 2018, Mathilde Petit-Belasco and Guillemette Jaguet. They noticed that when we eat outside with a street food commerce or when we get delivered, there is a lot of remaining waste like plastic dishes. So they created an edible dish made of draff. So you want to ask me, what is the draff? The draff is a cereal residue issue from the beer fabrication, and there is a lot of draff residue from the beer production. And all of this residue is not recycled, so they decided to use it.
on just so I can blur the line. Good thing going on.
I mean, you can eat your dish and your dish is full of protein. I find the idea pretty cool. That's a good and an original way to remove a ton of waste. Now let's talk about a woman that had the idea to turn plastic into bricks. Imagine if you can turn all the waste around you. Imagine all the plastic, the trash around you that can be used to build houses or paving stones.
Let's turn trash into cash. My name is Nzambi Mate. I'm the founder of Jijenge Makers Limited, and we convert plastic waste into building products. Plastic waste is not just a Kenya problem, but it's a worldwide problem. And here in Nairobi, we generate about 500 metric tons of plastic waste every single day, and only a fraction of that is recycled. We decided, what more can we do instead of just sitting in the sidelines and complaining? Essentially, companies have to pay to dispose the waste. So we solve their problem. The waste essentially comes for free. This is the plastic waste we get from factories. With this, we mix with sand, as the plastic is like the binder. We have 3 machines. The extruder does the mixing of plastic waste with sand at very high temperatures, and then the press compresses it. Plastic is fibrous in nature, and so therefore the brick ends up having a stronger compression strength. Does that look like waste to you?
These kind of wonderful projects are multiplying nowadays, and maybe in a close future, the plastic will no longer be a problem. On a smaller scale, you can join some associations like Surfrider Foundation and do some plastic removal missions. Thanks for listening, and let's see you on the waves.
Yeah, man! No, man! No way! Regarde la GoPro, allez hop! C'est un mec qui a réussi à tomber dans un canapé, regardez-le!